Welcome to the Beautiful Game Plan podcast, produced by Focus Shift Films and sponsored by Welsh sports fans. I'm your host, Daniel J. Harris. I'm a filmmaker and entrepreneur working across sport, and I'm a huge fan of sports content. This podcast is my chance to meet amazing people who are doing amazing things in the sports content space and to share their stories with you in the hope that it inspires ideas. On this episode, I have the amazing Roopa Vyas from Her Game 2. Hi Roopa, welcome to the Beautiful Game Plan podcast. First of all, just tell us how you got into football. What are your first memories of falling in love with football?
Well, thanks for having me, Dan. I think football has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. So I grew up with an older brother, grew up in a fairly male-dominated household, so football was just always a thing in my life. It's not something that I think anybody in my family expected for me to kind of take on as like my thing and like to have dictate my entire life, but here we are. And it's something that, yeah, I've always loved. I think, just watching on TV growing up and then eventually, being a bit older and going to the stadiums and being part of something special, and kind of feeling like I belong somewhere just meant a lot to me. And then, yeah, and now here we are with Her Game 2 and that additional sense of belonging, that community, and sort of helping other people who are just like me, get into the sport and feel safe and welcome in the sport. It's just, yeah, it's something beautiful. It's called the beautiful game for a reason, right?
Absolutely. So you're telling me that nobody in your family predicted that your face would be 30 foot high and on the side of Anfield?
Even I didn't predict that. I didn't even read my contract properly to know that I was going to be on the side of Anfield. I mean, it's not even a bucket list thing because the only people that get on that stadium are players and LeBron James. So, for my face to be on there, I was just when I found out, I was like, what? My face is on and I've been sitting in the Kop for years. Like when I moved up to Liverpool and I was going to every home game, home and away, like the Kop was my place. Those turnstiles either side, C and D, like that was just in the middle of that. And I was like, I just feel like I've come on a full circle moment here where I'd be taking photos of like Virgil and Mo and even like Gerard back in the day being up there, and now my face is like right there. It's a bit surreal.
So it's Steven Gerrard, Ian Rush, LeBron James, Roopa Vyas.
Yeah, yeah. I'm up there with those, yeah.
Absolutely. I listen, I have absolutely no doubt. I've known you long enough to know that you can mix it with those, don't you worry. So how did that come about then? So tell us a little bit about your role at Liverpool and yeah, how your face ended up on the Kop.
Yeah, so it's literally been nearly exactly 2 years, or just over 2 years. I joined Her Game 2. So I was one of those people that followed Her Game 2 since it launched in 2021, sort of resonated with the campaign and the message, but I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was something that the Premier League had done. I thought like the FA had done something, I didn't realize that it was fan-led and a volunteer campaign. And then I saw the work that they were doing with various football clubs, and I just thought, I want in, I want to represent my people, Liverpool fans. I saw that they didn't have anyone, and I thought I could do that. So I kind of went to them and said, "You haven't got anyone for Liverpool." Like, I'd done a few bits with them for like the Euros representing Wales, and I thought I could represent Liverpool. Like it was kind of COVID season. I didn't know if I was going back to Liverpool, but I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then they were like, yeah, great, come on board. And then fast forward like 6 months from then, I became a director of the campaign. I just kind of dove straight in, got really stuck in. And I think it was just my passion took over. I didn't realize how involved I would be. Like an ambassador, you work with your club, you represent the club, and you work with them on various things. So the first thing is getting a partnership, getting them to pledge their support, and then working on reporting systems, any initiatives to involve fans in, and just spreading our message in whatever way works for them, whether it is using the Her Game 2 branding or whether it is incorporating what we do within things that already exist. And clubs like Liverpool, they already have certain things in place. So it was quite a difficult challenge to get them to add to it, to what they already had. But we got there in the end, and I did get them partnered with a lot of persistence. I think you know that I don't take no for an answer. So that's how it came about. But then yeah, with the Converse campaign I was involved in, they actually found me on social media through the Her Game 2 work that I was doing. So, you know me, I love social media and I love talking about all things football and especially Her Game 2. I won't shut up about it, whether people like it or not. So, I did lose a few followers at the beginning because I think I was just nagging and like just posting about it too much. But yeah, so an agency found me through there and said, we love what you're doing with this. And as part of the Converse campaign, they wanted to highlight real fans. And they were like, you are a real fan. My story's a bit different because I'm not from Liverpool. I don't have the Scouse accent. And I've got a bit of a different journey. And I did, that did take me to Liverpool for about 3.5 years. And then, back home to Wales. And I've just got such a strong connection with the city now. So, yeah, and then they asked me to be part of it. And I didn't even know what it was. I didn't even know it'd be Converse, like a brand that's so well known. It's a brand that we've all kind of grown up with. It's been around for as long as I remember. And yeah, when I found out it was Converse, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Then I found out there was going to be players involved, and I was like, this is even more insane. Then I found out that Nike own Converse. And I was just like, oh my God, like, what have I got into? This is incredible. And then yeah, so they asked me to be part of it, and I kind of pushed myself out of my comfort zone, did like the whole photo shoot, videos, makeup, wardrobe, everything, which I'd never done before. And then my face ended up on the cop.
Amazing. And if anyone is in any doubt about how much you love Liverpool and how much you fangirl over the players, I was there when you met Ian Rush and I thought you were going to explode. I thought you were just going to explode.
I
Uh,
was crying.
oh, just met Ian Rush. Oh my God, you just signed this. Like, okay. So
Oh,
it's like you say, dream come true sort of stuff, but like it's not even something you could have dreamt of. It's absolutely wild, I suppose, isn't it? And an
yeah.
amazing proud moment for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me as well, having that sort of outsider journey, like I did, even though football gave me a sense of belonging, I was still an outsider, not from Liverpool. There is that sort of thing with these global clubs that if you're not from the area, you're not a true fan and all of that. And I don't believe in any of that rubbish. I think, as long as you support the club, no matter what, win, lose or draw, I'm there. Same goes with Wales as well. If we didn't win last night, I would be there Tuesday regardless. If it's a friendly, I will be there. And I think, that's the important thing about football and being a fan. Like that's what it means. And it doesn't matter where if you can't physically be there and you're watching the game at like 3 o'clock in the morning on the other side of the world, like that is a true fan. You don't have to, it doesn't matter where you're born. It's all about sort of how you make that connection and the sacrifices you do make when you can make them. And yeah, it's more than a dream come true. I don't even know how you top that. Like I think that's it. I've peaked.
Yeah. I think you've got a hell of a lot more to come. I wouldn't say that you've peaked yet. I think there's plenty more ahead of you. Your energy and your persistence will take you even further. And just to give people a little bit of context at home that are watching or listening, Wales beat Finland last night in a Euro playoff, and now they've got a big game against Poland on Tuesday for the chance of going to Euro 2024. So yeah, myself and Rupert, just before we started recording, we're both kind of excitedly talking about that and how it was a good win. And then Tuesday's going to be a pretty nervy one. So just to rewind a little bit, just for anyone that doesn't know, tell us what Her Game 2 is all about and then why you set up Her Game 2 Cymru.
So Her Game 2 started off 12 female fans just basically wanted to raise awareness of sexism in the sport. So I think most of us are aware that sexism takes place, especially online within football. And yeah, when it was set up, it was just a case of a lot of online abuse, purely for being a female. I think a lot of us are used to it, just because we're female, that we get comments, we make a comment of like we share an opinion and people will literally latch onto that. They'll disagree, they'll bring personal things into it, appearance, um, even race, anything, just because I'm a woman talking about something I shouldn't be talking about. And yeah, that was the premise of it, and then it just grew. Like it just exploded. The viral video of people holding up different messages they've received just, yeah, it took Twitter by storm. It was on FA Cup final day as well, so it was a great day for engagement. You know, the EFL, loads of clubs commenting. That's where I was watching. I thought, this is something that's a professional body has set up. I did not realize it was 12 fans from across the UK. Like, they just wanted to talk about it and wanted somewhere where other female fans could go and share their experiences. And then they started, you know, being approached by clubs to work together. And then that's where we formed this company now. We are a community interest company, and we work with football clubs, organisations, leagues. So the Premier League and the EFL, we work a lot with. And we just, yeah, work on spreading the message of sexism to make people aware that it is there in many forms. There's so many different types of sexism that I can't name you all of the types off the top of my head, but if you hear the associated phrases, you'd be like, yeah, I definitely heard that. You know, you will have witnessed it in a stadium, in a pub, anywhere. And we just want to protect fans and like kind of put a stop to that, because why should women be subject to that? Like, why can't we enjoy the game together? You know, we're not, and that's the key messaging of Her Game Too, is the two part. We're not saying it's our game. We're not saying like it's not your game, you can't be involved if you're a male, but we want to be involved as well. And like, there's no reason why we can't enjoy it together. And that goes for the men's game and the women's game. Like, everybody should be welcome at both. But most of our work with clubs is that in the men's game, because that's where we get reports of sexism, misogynistic behaviour, and sexual assault. So yeah, we were seeing, you know, reports coming through, and I think it took us by surprise initially, but then we realised that maybe it's a case of people knew where they could report it, because even though clubs had reporting systems, it would list things like racism, homophobia, but it wouldn't list sexism. And, you know, having that written down makes it very clear that it is something that they will address, and they weren't doing that previously. So for us to come along and kind of reiterate that, and for clubs to make their pledge by partnering with us that they will action it, is really important. So yeah, a lot of good work being done across the UK, and beyond now as well, with Her Game Too France partnering with all the leagues in France and some of the French clubs as well. And then Her Game Too Cymru came about because, being a passionate Welsh woman, I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting tired of being overshadowed by the Lionesses. It was something that, it was a bit of jealousy combined with passion. And I just thought, we need our own platform. We asked our wonderful merch suppliers, Hope and Glory, to create us a logo for the Welsh side. And I was like, this logo is incredible, and we need a different branch of Her Game Too, basically. And then, yeah, St. David's Day 2023 launched that just to highlight the work that's, because there's so much incredible work being done by the FAW and loads of Welsh clubs, and you know, us Welsh, we're on the whole really nice, really welcoming, really inclusive. So I just wanted to, is more shining a light on the positivity, because it was getting drowned out by the UK so big. So I just thought, let's take that a bit separate, you know, not bringing politics into it, but yeah, just giving it its own platform, you know, and sharing that, and being able to, you know, post things and using the Welsh language where possible, where I'm not fluent. So sometimes I am guilty of relying on Google Translate or my Duolingo lessons, which I did miss my lesson yesterday, but my streak is intact. 446 days strong.
Nice.
So I'm getting there. But yeah, we just want to, you know, we want to include the whole of Wales. And then obviously it does help that a spotlight has been shone on Wales by two American lads, buying a football club up in North Wales. Most people probably wouldn't have heard of Wrexham if it wasn't for them. So for them to highlight something like that and to sort of embrace Welsh culture has just really helped shine a light on all the great stuff happening in Wales.
Riverside Sports Bar with Welsh sports fans is Newport's premier sports bar and has been voted best sports bar at the Welsh Hospitality Awards. With a range of huge TVs, an incredible food menu with burgers, dirty fries and much more, including vegan options, it is the place to watch sport. Visit www.riversidesportsbarnewport.com to find out more.
Absolutely, and some of the work that you ladies are doing are fantastic. And yeah, in my sports bar, Riverside Sports Bar, we've proudly got our Her Game 2 shirt framed done up on the wall. And yeah, I support you in everything you do. And I was lucky enough to be there in Anfield when you won a couple of awards, wasn't it? The Football Content Awards. How amazing is it to kind of get that recognition from people in the industry?
Oh, it's amazing. I think the first time, so Her Game 2 was nominated at the Football Content Awards in 2021 as I think it was like Best Charity Initiative. And that was literally just months after it launched. So that was insane to be nominated. And then, yeah, the following year we won our first award. And that was, I think that's where we didn't take off then. We carried on as usual. But I think it just kind of like reiterated to all of us that as volunteers and working tirelessly around jobs that we're doing something good and it is being seen by other people where people are voting for us and taking the time out to show their support. It means a lot to us. So I did cry on stage in Manchester in 2022, but I didn't cry in 2023 when we won 2 awards because I'd been there before. I was shaking and my voice was a bit shaky when I spoke, but I couldn't believe it, like especially to win. So we won Best Women's Football Organisation for the second year running, and then the new award in ED&I, which is just insane. I just couldn't believe it. But at the same time, I can believe it because we've got an incredible team of ambassadors who were, and you saw us all on the stage, we took over. That wasn't even everyone. That was only about 20 of us. We've got over 100 and more like across the world. And, for us to be there and to show people that this is what we're doing. And, we did a lot of networking that night as well. And it was just nice to hear from people. Like, even now, I go to events. I went to a conference a few weeks ago and I'm from Her Game 2. They're like, oh, no way, Her Game 2. I love Her Game 2. And before, I just felt like I had to keep telling people what it was. And now people are aware of us thanks to all our partnerships with clubs. And they are taking note of the message that we're trying to share because it's not something that, we're trying to work on alone either. We want to collaborate with as many organizations as possible to just get rid of discrimination as a whole. So yeah, that recognition was just superb and yeah, really grateful and really happy that we were carrying around 2 awards all night.
Yeah, it was a proud moment for me being there and kind of seeing you. I felt very proud for you, and to see the work that you're doing is amazing. And just to backtrack a little bit there to something you said, you're doing all this while working a full-time job. Like, how tough is that? And what sort of support does Her Game 2 need in order to go to the next level?
Yeah, so we all work in various industries. A lot of us don't even work in football, which takes a lot of people by surprise. But yeah, most of us are just, purely football fans. I work in pharmaceuticals. There's other people in, video production. There's teachers. There's like community work, marketing, loads of different areas. Obviously, a lot of transferable skills, which is great, and we're all pulling on that. But it's tough. Like it's mentally draining. It's often physically draining. Even just the other week, I take all my annual leave to do Her Game 2 stuff, so I don't really get a rest. Like I had a call earlier and it was talking about rest breaks and make sure you take your annual leave to rest. I don't do that. So I need more. But
You
I
wish
took
you could take the rest.
yeah, I took time off to travel to Birmingham, back to Cardiff, back over to Liverpool, back home, back to London, and that's all for Her Game 2. And then I've got to fit my job in around it, and especially for me having to be in work all the time, it can be exhausting. So, I value my time so much now when I get a bit of a break. So this weekend, obviously with it being the international break as well, I actually get a true break and no sort of heart attacks over the weekend over football results, which is great, not until Tuesday night. But yeah, it's exhausting. And I don't think a lot of people say to us like, hang on a minute, you do this alongside another job. Like surely you work part-time. We work full time, and then this is another full-time job essentially. Any minute I get, I've got my emails on my phone so I can check, and if there's anything urgent, it's actioned as soon as possible. I think it's because of the nature of what we do. If we do receive reports as well, we want to be on it and get it passed on as soon as possible. So things can be investigated, but also just the passion. You know, we want to be there for other people. We want to share our message, and thankfully we have a lot of good news to share, as well as sometimes some hard-hitting news as well regarding reports. But you know, a lot of positive things are going on across the UK, which is really nice. But we do need some level of secure funding, you know, something that pays for even things that we need to buy, like even subscriptions to software and things like that. We do everything in-house, like graphics. I've even got into designing graphics. I've never done that before. I'm a Canva pro now. Photoshop, you know, loads of like even little things like that, software like that, and then being able to run social media. So us, the 6 directors, the 6 of us chip in on social media. We have had a few people like helping here and there, but trying to keep up with everything. I think things change so much online. It's really hard to keep up with what works, what doesn't work, what platform is like the best thing out there at the moment. What's everyone using? Is it TikTok? And if it's TikTok, you've got to create all the content, and it's really difficult. I've tried so much to like get into everything and cover all bases, but we can't. And we need people who can do that, but also we can't expect too much from volunteers. You know, people doing stuff for free. I know people are so generous with their time and their efforts, but you know, we want to be able to reward that and reimburse, you know, travel and other expenses and things like that, because nothing is free. And we don't have that. And until we get that sort of secure partnership and that funding, we can't progress to the next level, because we're still, you know, we still need energy to pay the bills, you know, work our jobs, pay the bills, put food on the table, that sort of thing. So the next step is finding that, whether it's a corporate partner, whether it's a grant out there that we can apply for, finding something that can actually help us progress.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that you ladies are doing some amazing work, and the fact that you're doing it alongside full-time jobs and with no money coming through the door to cover the cost of travel, subscriptions, any services you need, it's impossible to run a business without any money. And you ladies are running a very important business that is making positive change in sport and in football and making it a more inclusive space, and you're doing that without a single kind of penny coming in. So hopefully there's someone out there listening to this and they want to be a generous benefactor. Do you know what I mean? And kind of put some money in. But surely there's got to be a brand out there. Like all of the big companies, all the big brands have all got their social responsibility, things that they commit to doing to make the world a better place, to help charities and organizations. So hopefully there's a case of kind of, now with you doing so much, you're getting so much gravitas, so much visibility, that one of those big companies like a Nike, do you know what I mean, kind of says, right, actually, this is what we want to support for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And there's a chunk of money. We're going to help you to amplify your message and get it out there. We're going to help you to connect with the right people. And we're also going to put some money in the bank, which allows the 6 directors to work full time, and there to be additional funds for hiring a videographer to shoot a video, for a marketing campaign, for whatever the you ladies need to do what you do on another level. And surely to God, with money in the bank, you can do even more incredible things. The fact that you've done it all like in your spare time, I think is absolutely brilliant. So fingers crossed there's someone out there listening or watching that wants to put their hand in their pocket. Maybe LeBron, if you're watching or listening, get in touch with Roopa. She needs your help.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been really lucky as well that we've worked with, you know, we've worked with yourself to produce content and host events and things like that. And I think we've been really lucky that to have people's goodwill and like nice gestures like that, which help us, you know, show off what we're doing. Like we did an evening with her going to Cymru, didn't we? And that was incredible to have Rob Earnshaw, and he brought in a great crowd behind him as well. And I think, you know, people from the outside looking in probably think that we already have that level of funding because we're able to do all this, but it's not. It's literally, we've come across some really incredible people who've offered their support. Even our merch suppliers, they came on board as our partners, supplying merchandise for free and then donating profits to us, which is incredible. Like they don't have to do that at all. And the fact that they've chosen to do that because they know like what it means, and they, you know, maybe got a personal connection as well and they want to be involved, that's just, you know, it means a lot. But we want to be able to take it to the next level. And it shouldn't rely on people's goodwill, because you can't run off goodwill forever, right?
That's it. And I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think a lot of people might be watching what you're doing and thinking, oh, wow, they're great. They must be well supported and well funded. Good stuff. Keep going, without actually realizing that, hang on, they're doing this. They're doing this out of their own pocket and their own time and the goodwill of others. So yeah, hopefully things like this can help spread the message that there's good work going on, but there needs to be financial support as well to ensure that this can continue and be sustainable. Yeah, if you're taking all your holidays to do Her Game 2 work, that is great, but you don't want to be doing that for the next 20, 30 years and not getting a single break at all.
No, I don't think I'd survive that long. You know, passion can only take me so far, but you can't run on passion forever.
No, exactly. And you are someone that's got a hell of a lot of passion, and you are definitely persistent. So I hope that you get what you need at Her Game 2, because you are doing amazing work, and it goes to that next level. So thank you very much for chatting to me today, Roopa. Just for the people at home that are watching and listening, where can they find out more about Her Game 2 and Her Game 2 Cymru?
So you can head to our website, hergame2.co.uk. There's links to our Cymru page as well, which is just /Cymru. On socials, at hergame2 on every platform you can think of. And then the same goes for Her Game 2 Cymru, is at HGT Cymru.
Fantastic. So thank you very much to those at home that have watched or listened. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves, and hopefully you'll support Her Game 2. Don't forget to like and share this episode and subscribe to the channel for more content.